Decent artists copy. Amazing artists steal. Straight up. I think we spend a lot less time than we should analyzing what the people we actually think are cool do in life. People that have passed away, people that have changed the flow the way that we want to. My name's Tarab. I make emotional intelligence videos every day. My mission is to inspire you to do the beautiful things that you want to do in your life because I believe the world would be better. So I took a fat nap today, and it was because I was getting into a state of mind where I was a bit depressed. My energy levels, as put in the Celestine prophecy, were a little bit low. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. Disconnect from the world for a second. Give yourself some self-love. And miraculously, I woke up 2 hours later after work. I have a pretty cool work schedule. But after work, and lo and behold, I have a lot of fucking energy. And so I got to thinking, I made some artwork. If you don't know, I make artwork. I make music. I'm a dentist. But today, I wanted to talk about my dad. And my dad passed away when I was about 9 years old. And for you, you might be thinking to yourself, I don't give a fuck about your dad. And fair enough. But I think we can learn something from this man because he did a lot of interesting things in his life. So when he was young, he moved away from Pakistan to attend university. Well, actually, he went to boarding school, like a military boarding school in Pakistan. So he learned all like these tactics of military. He learned how to wake up early, learn how to shoot guns, and be super active. He used to run like a madman. And then he moved to the United States at some point, and he got tremendous education. He met some crazy people. He flew planes, took pictures of stuff, and he eventually moved back to Pakistan, married my mom, whatever. But basically, he was an incredibly intelligent human being. Like he has that kind of brain of the people in classes where they like look at something for like 5 minutes and they figure out the whole spectrum of shit. I don't know if that was really the case, but I know my brother, that brain exists in me. Sometimes that exists. I'm more of a creative soul, but in really comparison, what does it matter? Well, actually, I have been comparing myself to my dad quite a bit because, frankly, to me, he's one of those legendary people. And I think our parents, in a lot of ways, are legendary people to us. And I think a lot of us get to a point where we stop giving credit to how beautiful their lives are. And me, particularly, my dad passed away when I was 9 years old, so it's really hard for me to even fathom the depth of what he had accomplished, the depth of his character, because frankly, I didn't have any accomplishments at that point. I didn't have really the character that I'm building now. So he had this personality where I'm telling you, he could literally go and talk to any human being, and he could make them feel like they were heard, like that he gave a shit about them, and he would genuinely inject humor and life into their life, and it gave such an aura, such a vibe that as a young man, as a young child, as a 9-year-old, I would sit next to him in the family gatherings, and he would talk to people about politics, about religion, about cultural trends, about whatever the hell that I talk about, and he would be able to silence a room. Like he would be able to capture the attention of the entire audience there, regardless of what backgrounds they had, where their ideologies were coming from, their family struggles, whatever. And that to me is part of the reason, I suppose, that I believe I can be a speaker in any capacity, because it runs in my genetics. His dad was a tremendous lawyer in like the villages in Pakistan, and people used to call him Rai Saab. My last name is Rai, and he just had tremendous control over his words. Spent a lot of his life reading and stuff. But I think what we can deduce from this, if you consider this type of skill in life something that's valuable to you, the ability to communicate, the ability to feel, make people that you communicate with feel enriched, strengthened in any capacity. I think we can learn that it requires a tremendous amount of energy in, and it requires a tremendous amount of achievements in the background. So prior to him being able to sit with me on his lap and and talk about whatever the hell at family parties, he had achieved tremendous accolades in Pakistan. I mean, he worked for the government. He used to contract massive pieces of work there. He like graduated top of his class in some of the highest ranked schools in Pakistan. And back in, it must have been like 1980s, maybe 1970s or 80s. Like Pakistan had some kick-ass schools. Like the system there really rocked, and people were getting educated at a world level where if you take a look around, some of these Pakistanis are in tremendous positions. And if you're a Pakistani, holler, man. You know, I'm going there myself. But I guess what I'm saying is that in order to sit down with any given human being and drive a point home, or even to make them feel like there's energy coming out of you, you must do things. You must do things. Like a lot of shit, you know? And I think a lot of us stop when we get kind of bogged down and kind of depressed. And I'm telling you, literally yesterday, day before yesterday, man, I was in a shit, man, woman, then I was a shit mood. Like, really. I was like, I'm grinding like crazy, you know, at work. And I'm coming home and I'm grinding more. And I'm trying to find ways to educate myself. I'm trying to find ways to do this and blah and blue. And I'm not getting anything out of it. And the funny thing is that all of this is actually to accrue the freedom to take a 2-hour nap in a day and it not affect anything. That's why I'm pursuing this wealth thing. You know, I just want to have things around me that will allow me to create, to have the foundations that will allow me to make things in life, so that I can just keep making, and then I can give you the energy that hopefully my dad that gave to other people, you know, when he was living. And the reason that it really strikes me is because I talk to his friends, I talk to people that he touched in life, and all of these years later, I'm talking like 20 years later, more or less, like 18 years later, something like that. Dude, these people still have this look like they remember exactly the person. They remember the energy. They remember the conversations. They remember the jokes. He was also a really funny person, apparently. He had a lot of quirks about him. That confidence, but also lighthearted. Tact. The ability to treat people like they want to be treated. Fucking skill in life. But they remember. They remember him. And so I wanted to at least spend some time today to give props to my dad, because he was apparently a very dope human being. And I remember him being a dope human being. And I've spent a lot of time in life thinking to myself, through conversations with my mom, because obviously, like, when you're in a relationship, when you're married to someone, you know them at a different level. You know all of the good, all of the bad, right? Like you know the whole gamut, and it makes the person, it makes the relationship. She still tremendously misses him, but I've learned a lot of like the shortcomings of him. He used to make some bad business decisions. He was very gullible. He would trust people. He would he would read books, but he would only read the beginning, and he would only read the end and skim through parts of the middle and make assumptions based on what he had read. He was very headstrong. He was very brash in a lot of ways, and you know, being one son out of 8 kids, and the rest of them being obviously, well, not obviously, but females. You know, he had a lot of energy about him, and the reason that I'm making this video is to heal my child self, which I think is very, very important for any of us when we are in the pursuit of betterment, in the pursuit of greatness in any capacity, in the pursuit of a miraculous life. We must heal our child selves. The other reason I'm making this video is to tell you that sometimes it's really fucking rough. Sometimes it can be incredibly depressing. Like, you can be an optimistic as fuck person most of the time, and when you get into the rhythm, the when you get the ball rolling, so to speak, sometimes you get fucking crushed. Like, if your face is on the ball, sometimes your face is gonna be the part that's, you know, you understand. And you have to realize that you're gonna wake up tomorrow. Steely Dan, beautiful lyric. They said, "In the morning, the demons go away. Any major dude with half a heart surely will tell you, my friend, that any minor world breaks apart, falls together again." Something like that. And to take some time to reflect on, if you're feeling like shit, use the freedom that all of your work has given you. Like, check it out, or withdraw the energy back into you. In times of unrest, this is counsels of Hazrat Ali. Be like a suckling calf with no udder to be milked, no back to be ridden. I didn't have the energy to support anyone in the last 2 days, really. Besides my patients, I really tried their healthcare. It's not easy if you decide to go into it, if you want to do it well. And the third thing that I wanted to communicate with this is that my dad was a fucking great human being. Umar Rai was a great human being. And that when our parents pass away at an early age in life, you're always going to be running a race with someone. And if or parents or siblings or mentors in any capacity, when they pass away in life, the residual absence, the residual void that's left over is going to, it either makes or breaks you, right? You either dwell in it so hard that you forget what you're doing in the real world, or you use it as a fuck yeah, let's keep going. Let's see if I can become at least partially this person. And I hope you take the latter path, really, because it's important. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about my dad, and there wasn't some great qualities that he had, but a lot of really, really great qualities that he had. And I'm someone that knows that great people have tremendous variation in their personality and their beliefs, tremendous philosophies that are accrued over a lifetime, because I believe I am that type of person. So I give the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully you found this interesting. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Helps me out a lot. Share it with people. Spread the message of emotional intelligence to your communities. Spread the message of taking a fucking nap when you're tired, when you're exhausted, to your communities. Love yourself. Really. Gary Vee says all the time, love yourself. You can't love anyone else. He's not the only one. I'm sure millions of people before him said that too. Kendrick Lamar said that too. But the idea is really the paradox. Keep moving, my friend. If you have a second, check out this video. I don't know what it's going to be about, but it'll be something pertaining to this message of realizing the beauty of stealing someone's character, stealing someone's aura, stealing the way that people make people feel. Right? Like decent artists steal stuff. Decent artists steal stuff. Decent artists copy stuff. Phenomenal artists literally just take it word for word, steal it. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself.